One of the big announcements in 2016 was the announcement by Ford's chairman that it is a mobility company. Jessica, you're involved with all aspects of that.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us a brief overview, and I have some questions for you.
Sure. So as we were talking about last year, Ford really came to announce that we're not just an auto company anymore. We really see ourselves as auto plus mobility. And what that means is we stood up Ford Smart Mobility to focus specifically on the services side of the business. And so you can see behind me, last September we announced the acquisition of Chariot, which is a San Francisco-based company, as well as a partnership with Motivate, the operator of what is today Bay Area Bike Share, and will be Ford Go Bike starting later this year.
Excellent. So that kind of gives you a last mile to kind of a mid-mile solution, I suppose.
Yep. And, particularly with Chariot, this is a commute-focused solution, mostly within the city of San Francisco today. But even if you were commuting in on the train and you needed to get further into the city or into Soma, bikes is an option. And so more broadly speaking, we want to have Ford known as a leader in providing services and integrating with other services. You don't necessarily need to just take one thing. It's really about improving a seamless experience across multiple ways to get around.
One of the things that makes this unique is it's crowdsourced on demand. Why don't you talk about the process for this and how that integrates with maybe some of your other things like the bicycle?
Yeah, so today the way Chariot works, and again Chariot's in San Francisco and in Austin now as well, it's based on demand of the rider. So being crowdsourced, the way they got started and will continue to grow is with a portal, a way for people to request a route. So you go on and you say, hey, I wish I could get from point A to point B. When there's enough people to make that interesting, Chariot comes into your neighborhood and you're off and running. What it also might look like is if you work for a large employer in one of the cities, your employer might come along and say, we want to improve the way our folks are getting to work, and we're going to facilitate this as part of the solution package there. And in San Francisco, this actually, you can pay with pre-tax dollars as a commute benefit as well.
And even not paying with pre-tax dollars, it's relatively affordable, right?
It is. It's it's on the end there. Yeah, just $3. So I mean, it's comparable to a transit or a multi-stop transit trip. Certainly more affordable than parking.
Have you talked to transit agencies, or are they part of the discussion as far as are they looking at using this as complementary means to get people around?
That's a good question, and that's part of the work that I do on the City Solutions team. Is we believe that we need to have those conversations at the city and the transit operator level to really figure out how this fits into the bigger system. And any transit operator you talk to will tell you that they have inefficiencies in their routes. And so longer term, we think that this could move from a fixed route, crowdsourced trip into something that's more dynamic and on demand. And transit operators are very interested in that because it enables them to deliver not just routes in a neighborhood, but service when people need it.
And the nice thing, and the thing that differentiates it from traditional public transit, is you're going to the customer, right?
Yes, I mean we're in the neighborhood on the app. You can see when the Chariot is coming. You can see when the bike is available. There's no guessing and there's no waiting. So it's a much more user-focused experience.
Where do you see this going as far as, you've got a lot of announcements. I think I just saw the factory is going to be pumping out autonomous ride-sharing cars in 2021. Is that where this goes?
We're going to be very busy. For us, the first challenge is scaling this. So as I mentioned, we just launched in Austin, and then the Chariot teams are hard at work with another 4 cities by the end of this year, and probably more beyond that. And again, we see this, it'll move from a crowdsourced route to some other things. We have some other design research in the works that we're looking forward to putting in the business here.
Well, I imagine what this does is it gives you real data today that will inform you of what you need to do in 2021, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why you look at the changes we made just last year, setting up Ford Smart Mobility, starting to talk about being auto and a mobility company, but also things like Ford Pass. That's a way for consumers to have a direct relationship with Ford and for us to understand those needs. So for instance, the Ford Go Bike system in San Francisco, when that launches and comes online later this year, the mobile interface will actually be through Ford Pass. And again, that's another way for us to see how people are moving, but also understand what else they want in a city.
So it gives you kind of that seamless transition, so you take a bike from one spot to another, get the Chariot, and keep going.
That's pretty cool, right? And then when you have to go down to San Jose or travel further, you've got the train and longer haul buses, yeah.
And it sounds like the sync audio is working, but one of the things I want to ask you is this idea that by sharing the ride like this, you can actually take a lot of cars off the road, reduce congestion, all kinds of benefits. Why don't you tell us about the study that was done for you?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. There's been lots of research over the years around sharing and efficiencies and improvement, and that's one of the things both with Chariot and City Solutions more broadly we know is we want to participate in improving the inefficiencies that are out there today with congestion and really taking steps to improve things like air quality as well. And if you swap a one-for-one with a vehicle, unless it's a bicycle, we're in bicycles, you don't get that. And so that's why we're actually really confident about this particular vehicle as an option. There's not 25 seats in there. That's the kind of scaling power that happens as people try this. They shift their other habits as well, and so there's this kind of rippling effect that goes through as well. And you see these out there, and you start to say, "Oh, I could try that too."
Yeah, it's coolly branded, and it's developing a good brand, I think.
Yeah, I know you can't miss this, and those bikes you can't miss as well. They're we're really excited about what's happening out there.
Excellent. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing them in San Jose. So
Absolutely.
Jessica,
thank you so much.